I'm pretty sure that's copyrighted. So I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. Okay. So we got options, of course. Why is the resolution... Oh, okay. I have to say, why is the resolution so small? Vibration, VSync, okay. Oh, that's good. Turtle's Lair. Oh. Boxes and manuals, that's kind of cool. So you can see the game boxes. Nice. Ads and catalogs, comic books, animated show, behind the scenes, music, okay. Alright, games. So here we go. We have the, I think this is the arcade game. Yep, this is the first arcade game. This is Turtles in Time, which is also an arcade game. I'm guessing this is the NES, Super NES port. We won't be playing the Tournament Fighters, Hyperstone Heist. There's the first NES game. This is the NES port of the arcade game. There's also a Tournament Fighter. There's some GameCube, or not GameCube, Game Boy games. I don't know how much of those we'll play, but yeah. So it looks like they have all the arcade games. Although I'm not sure, what's the difference between this one and this one? I guess this is the 4-player arcade, and this is the 2-player NES port. That's a Genesis game. Guess that's a Genesis game. Yeah, okay, so the controller, you can see a controller down the bottom. This is NES, this is Genesis, and this is Super Nintendo. Okay. Alright, so let's start with the classic. Alright, obviously we gotta be Donatello.
Cowabunga! Fire!
Can't. Probably can't play that.
Cowabunga!
Thank you. Okay, it's a little loud. Okay. Alright, got arcade. Nah, you do not want to get between guys and beat them ups. Again, I do not claim to be good at these games, so you'll have to bear with me as we get our butt kicked repeatedly. Oh, I'm adding lives. I didn't realize you push start to add lives. I was trying to go to a menu. There we go. Strategy guide, screen size, original. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Filter, TV filter, monitor, LCD. Oh, that's kind of cool. Border. Sure. There we go. Make it a little bit bigger so that way. Bop, 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 bop. Ow. Rude. Ow. Ow.
Not in good stuff.
So I know you can kill that thing. Not the gun. Alright. This is Bebop or Rocksteady. I think it's Rocksteady. I can never remember which one's which. Rude. Really gotta stop that, friend. As you can tell, I'm very bad at this. Already down 2 lives, haven't even beat the first boss. It's been a long time since I played the arcade game. Alright. And snatched. Bye. After that shredder creep, I think you can hit these into people, yeah. Alright, so beat them up, knock them down. Ah, turtle soup. Oh, I don't even know if there's actually is like a turtle soup. I would assume there is. I would assume anything like that had like a protein you could make a soup out of. I guess you don't need protein for soup because you have like tomato soup and stuff like that. You just have to like water it down or something. Turtle soup. Very carefully on what say that's good. You can also fall into that, which is hilarious. Ooh. Nice boomerang. Probably using like the weakest turtle, I don't know. I just like Donatello.
Pizza time!
Pizza time. Energy! Look at me. Alright. Somebody on a skateboard. That's another thing I always find hilarious about like beat 'em ups and stuff is like you pass all these like stores and like houses and all of that, but like there's no one out here except for the people that are trying to like beat you up or stop you. It's just like, where is everybody? I guess if there's a big fight breaking out in the street, you wouldn't want to go outside, but you know, it just seems kind of silly to me. It's like, where is? Also, you know, limitations of the time. They couldn't have too many things on screen. Oh, forgot about that. Just to add some more lives there. Come on. What's funny is, I believe when this was in the arcade, or at least when I played this in the arcade,
You are dead.
I could pretty consistently get to the Hippodrome, but outside of that, I would usually just get my butt kicked because I don't really know. Like the techniques, because I know like every beat 'em up has like a series of techniques you can use to like bait out attacks and then like use certain moves to. Okay, I'm trying to. Okay. To like stun lock certain bosses and stuff.
So who put the lights out?
But I don't know any of those techniques, so jump up here, make that guy jump back. But yeah, I remember playing this one in the arcade, and you know what's funny is I don't actually remember it looking this good. So I think they did a little bit of updates on like the scaling, the aliasing, and stuff. Or maybe it's just how good the game looked. Because arcade games were, like, definitely a step above, like, console games, just because of the, like, one, consoles are meant to play mini games, whereas, arcades were usually locked to, like, one game, so they would spend all of that on graphics and sound and stuff like that. In fact, there was more focus on graphics and sound in arcades just because that's how they attracted people to the cabinets in the first place. right? Can you get off me? Is because like if you had the arcade that was like, you wanna play, and then like bright lights and all of that stuff. I'm getting my butt kicked. It's kind of like what happens with slot machines. If you've ever seen a slot machine, it plays a bunch of like noise and sound and lights and stuff like that, especially when people are playing it, so that it entices other people to come play it. No, don't get on the other side of me. There we go. That's what we want to see right there, basically. It's just a cluster of them on one side. But yeah, there's a lot of like psychological tricks that arcade cabinets and like slot machines use to attract people to their cabinets. So like that's why splash screens were usually like loud, and they would do like really bright lights and colors and stuff like that. One good example of that use, even though the game, you know, looked exactly like the thing, was if you've ever seen Dragon's Lair. Oh god, Baxter. I think this is Baxter, right? Is Baxter the rat? I thought this was Baxter. Wow, I just touched that thing. A lot of psychology, but yeah. Yeah, again, it's a sales tactic, right? For them, they had to do this in order to get people to put coins in their machine so that they could make money. That's also why they made the games so difficult too, is because they knew if they cranked the difficulty up, people would take it as a challenge and attempt to try their best to beat it, and when they couldn't beat it, they would jam more quarters in, and you know, or tokens depending on where you're at. So that was kind of the thing. No, the only issue that I think happened with a lot of arcades that caused a lot of, especially in the 80s and early 90s, I don't know why we're just constantly taking random health damages. I guess it's because we're touching these guys. There we go. That guy's so dead. But is a lot of people that ran arcades and like things like Chuck E. Cheese and stuff like that, is a lot of them had to start learning how to like to repair like machines and stuff, because the buttons would go out, and how can I not hit this cone? These cones are a little bit hard to hit. There we go. So they had to like actually get into some like tech and soldering and stuff like that, because a lot of times it was cheaper to replace the buttons or like, you know, replace bits of it than it was to get a whole new cabinet. So a lot of them had to learn like the tech on how to like fix some of that stuff, which was interesting, you know. Because I think some of the arcades came with like replaceable stuff, and others came with like manuals. But there's a good bit of them that didn't really have any of that stuff. You just kind of had to figure it out. Which again wasn't really a problem with consoles, because like if your controller goes out, you just get a new controller, right? But because consoles were made to play a bunch of different games, the graphics never caught up, at least at the time, never caught up with arcade stuff. Let's see. Let's take out the gun. Not that gun. Oh. I just need to take one out. There we go. I always struggle with this one. I think this is Rocksteady. I can never remember. I was not a huge like TMNT fan. It was mostly just the arcade games that I played. I love beat 'em ups. It's definitely one of my favorite genres, but it's just
Let's move it. I owe you one.
but it was an interesting time in history with the arcade and the home consoles and stuff, because like in the 80s, like arcades were just like the way you gamed essentially. Like all you really had at home were like Pong consoles or like the Atari, right? And those were nowhere near close enough to play the graphics of anything that looked remotely like an arcade game. In fact, the soundboards were so bad that like the way, if you don't know how sound worked back in those times, there wasn't like a separate board or anything, right? There wasn't like a bunch of components in those consoles. They actually, what they did would they would send electrical current to parts of the circuit board, and that would make different like buzzing sounds, and they used that to make essentially the audio for the games. God, I hate these things. Ugh. Thankfully we have unlimited coins, so we'll definitely get through this one, but okay. But so that's kind of how that sound worked, is basically by just sending electrical current to create audio. So a lot of the like Atari sounds are just like a buzzing noise. They're like or you know, something like that. And that's just because that's how they made sound back then. And then you had, you know, like the NES, which had started to have more like evolutions in sound, evolutions in graphics. But the real thing that consoles did, that the reason why I believe they took off out away from arcades, is even though the graphics were lower, you know, if you compare them to like this and the NES game or the Super NES game, even Super Nintendo, no one really calls it the Super NES as far as I know, but is the convenience of it, right? Hopping in a meeting, but just wanted to pop in lurk. Thank you for the lurk, Brian. It was convenience, right? So people would take the hidden graphics because it meant that they could play from home for as long as they wanted. Now, that didn't keep them from making obscenely difficult games, mind you, but there's a lot of notably hard games around that time, but I think we jump into the... Okay, yeah. Let's say I'm gonna die here, but that's fine. Let me take it over here. Okay, can you stop kicking me in the back, please? Thank you. But yeah, so what they thought was gonna happen is they thought people were going to get enticed by the home console version and be like, man, I really want to go to the arcade and play this. But what ended up happening is people were willing to sacrifice stuff for the convenience. So even though the games got better graphically and all that stuff, it didn't really matter because, again, you could just wake up on a Saturday, you know, when you don't have work or school or whatever, and you could just play whatever you wanted to play. Now, were they like the most intense games? In some cases, no. But you gotta remember, like, Final Fantasy, one of the biggest JRPG, if not the biggest JRPG series of all time, started on the Nintendo, right? Final Fantasy 1 was a Nintendo game. I believe so was Final Fantasy 2. Now, once you get into like 3 through 6, it gets a little weird because there's the Japanese versions and the versions we got in the West. But like, so there were games that had arguably more depth on the home consoles than they had in the arcades, right? So then it became a thing of like, well, how do we compete with something like a Final Fantasy on an arcade? Because the whole point of arcade experiences are to be short but difficult experiences, right? And the answer is they really couldn't. So what revitalized the scene, surprisingly, was fighting games. Well, not surprisingly, but that basically revitalized the scene was fighting games. So a lot of people ended up replacing their cabinets, you know, unless they were like the super popular ones like Galaga, Pac-Man, Tempest. They would just replace them with fighting games because people love challenging their friends, and then they would host like tournaments and stuff, like little homegrown tournaments where people would come in and, you know, like 15 people would show up and you'd have like a tournament, and whoever won would get like a free pizza or something, right? But you got to remember, like, there was a lot of advancements in technology for not only gaming, but just in general. From the year, like, 1985 to the year 1995, we advanced a lot of tech in a very short amount of time. So there's a lot of that made arcades, like, very popular, and then kind of cut the legs out from under them. Which was interesting. You know, there's a lot of studies on like what happened there. And of course there was like the game bubble burst. Where there was just too many people making too many games, and eventually it led to there just being an overabundance of games, but not enough profit for anybody to really see it. So like basically a bunch of game studios shut down, which is still happening to this day, by the way. But I think that's because people nowadays, companies nowadays, at least on the big like development scene, aren't really paying attention to what people are playing. They're like, oh, they want to play this game for the 15th time, and some people do, and that's fine. But a lot of the titles that are starting to like kind of take over indie titles, which is the reason why I bring that up, is that's interesting because that's literally how gaming started, right? It was just a bunch of like one or two group teams, you know, up to, you know, maybe 5 or 10 that were making video games. And it's kind of interesting that we've moved back into this era of, you know, where the people that are selling these, you know, million copies of games are like smaller studios. I learned that much later on in life, by the way, that you could actually destroy those things. I thought you were just supposed to run. Hey, it's Splinter. Oh yeah, God, I remember this guy. This guy would always cause me an issue. There's a place you can stand, I believe, that puts you like in a weird hitbox, but it's been far too long since I've played to remember any of that stuff. Like I said, there's little tricks with each one of the bosses. This guy was really rough. He's meant to be rough because he basically locks like the last like 2 levels of the game down, basically. I don't think you can really jump kick him. But there's like a weird planar thing you can do with this guy, like this. But yeah, it's interesting watching, because, you know, being alive for a lot of that and seeing basically like the cycle kind of come back into fruition, where it's like everyone's an indie developer, big developers start making stuff, big developers take over, people don't want big development stuff, so indies take over again. It's just interesting seeing that cycle kind of repeat in my lifetime. This place. This is where I could probably get to consistently back in the day, but Technodrome. I thought it was the Hippodrome. Maybe that's something else. But I could get to this place consistently, but man, getting past this place, it was like impossible. I almost never had enough tokens. There were some really good players though. I remember back in the day, there were some people that like they would literally just like two tokens, 2 coins, you know, quarters or whatever. They could get all the way to the end on like 2. I never met anyone that could do it in 1, but I know there's people out there that can. But yeah, it's just kind of funny that like the bigger companies of today aren't paying attention to what happened in the gaming in the past, because you can literally see the trends that are happening where basically everything is kind of going in reverse. I'm getting my butt kicked, dude. I'm very bad at this. It's probably because I picked Donatello. I know there's some games where Donatello is really useful, and then there's other games where Donatello is like not the best. And this might be one of the ones where Donatello's not the best. I just pick it because of the range, because sometimes range and beat 'em ups can help you out. But there's the ice. I remember this. You basically had to like weave your way through here. Should have seen that coming. But we've kind of started moving back to the trend where instead of people like you had the arcade games, right, where you had good like sights and sounds, and then people started caring less and less about graphics, and that's kind of happening again. If you look at like games, there's a lot of indie games, heck, even some AAA games have started to dive back into it, but where people are caring less about graphics in a lot of cases, and they're just caring about the gameplay, and because the gameplay is so fun, they're just like, I'll just keep playing this, you know, this like $13 game that I bought. God, I really need to get. I am so rusty. But thankfully, I think there's only like two or 3 more levels left, so we'll be able to move on to the next one after this. But it's interesting. Because again, seeing that change in my lifetime, us go, oh, it's all about graphics, to, graphics might not be that important anymore. To everybody cares about graphics, to graphics might not be that important anymore. It's just really interesting to see that kind of ebb and flow. Because again, when I was a kid, like this is what our games looked like. These were the arcades that we played, and once we, I think I'm stuck. Okay. Is it the top side? No. I could have swore there was there's like a stun locking thing you can do, but I can't remember what it is. Keep touching that. You get away from that. I love how he keeps like preparing to shoot his gun, but doesn't actually shoot it. Is it the hits, move, hit, move? I think that might be it. Ow. Oh, there you go. So you finally shot. It's like hit, move, hit, move, hit, move. Like I said, there's strategies for all this. I am not a arcade aficionado when it comes to these games. Okay, this guy's like a couple hits from dead. Come on. I'm about to say, I know you're almost gone, dude. Ow. Would you just die already? There we go. But yeah, it's so interesting. And actually, tomorrow we're gonna be playing a game that has like pixel graphics, and just kind of re-illustrates that point. Oh god, I remember this. Krang. Oh god. I think when I was younger, I only made it Krang like 3 or 4 times. Krang is a bit of a pain. Like I said, it might be the turtle I'm using, because I know there were certain turtles that people picked just because of like how they could do some certain like stun locking techniques. I don't think Donatello was the great pick here, but that's fine. I like Donatello. Rocket Punch. Oof. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting, like, if you haven't gone back into gaming history and just like even if you don't intend to play like the games and stuff, it's still worth looking up like all that's kind of happened, you know, in just the like not even like from like 1980s to like 2024, which is like 44 years, by the way. Oh, he just stun locked us with the lasers. Okay, so we can kind of get in his hitbox, and if we can bait him into the triple lasers, we can kind of farm some hits there. Okay. Okay, can you stop that? Jesus. There we go. But just watching stuff from like, okay. Like seeing the jump from like the 1980s to like just like the end of the 90s, just seeing just how far like gaming has become. It's a really interesting thing, because again, there's a lot of people that don't know just how far advanced okay, it's the one on the left. I think it's just whichever one can cast the lightning is the one you're supposed to focus on, but yeah, from 1990 to 2000, yeah. That progression alone, just that decade alone, was huge. Hey, he turned us into Baby Turtle. Oh, they could both cast lightning. Never mind. I'm very bad at this game. I'm gonna be even worse at the next one. Okay, so I don't think it's that one. I think whichever one you knock the mask off of, it's not, yeah, it's not that one. Oh, there's the stun lock. Like I said, there's a chance to stun lock certain bosses. He did his clone stepped where he was. So he got stuck in the stun lock too. Oh, that sucks. Cause he's almost dead. Oh, they both have mask removed. Okay, well, not that one. Ah, almost had it. I'm just jamming quarters in the machine at this point. But yeah, just from 1990 to 2000, or just from 1980 to 1990. I usually say from 1980 to 2000. Like, just watching the progression from there is insane. Going from NES all the way to, like, PS1, right? Just absolutely insane. Freaked by the Foots, mangled by Mousers, and totaled the Technodrome. That's Turtle Power. What about Shredder and Krang? Burned to a toast, vaporized to milkshake, or escaped to Dimension X? Until we know, none of us could sleep safely on our beds. Shells.
Cowabunga!
Okay. So yeah, that's where that one ends. I believe Turtles in Time picks up after that. But there you go. That was the first arcade game. As you can tell, I'm not particularly good at it. Yeah, they basically let me have infinite, like, lives by being able to just jam quarters in there, so... Okay. We're going to move on to the second arcade, which is Turtles in Time, which I believe was built on the same engine. Let's try Leonardo. Winners don't use drugs. Remember that, kids.
Pizza power!
You can hear the music in the background. Very 1990.
Let's kick shell!
Evening news.
This is April O'Neill reporting.
Hi, Krang. Also, why is Krang so big? Did you notice that? He's bigger than the Statue of Liberty.
Hey, Crank! Bring that statue back, you bloated beanbag!
Big Apple, 3 a.m. We're just gonna...
Let's kick shell!
Hurry! Oh yeah, this is the one where they added running. Yeah, this one's a lot faster, too. I'd never played this one in the arcades, to be honest. By 1991... well, 1991, I was a baby, but... But by the time I played, I don't even remember a place that I went that had this in the arcade, to be honest. I have played the I think Super Nintendo version of this game. I don't even know if I have it anymore. I don't think I do. But yeah, this added a whole bunch of new features. You could run, you could throw things at the camera, which that'll be a helpful thing later on. The explosions, like it's just an all-around faster experience. Yeah, grappling was a thing. I don't even remember how you're supposed to do the grapple, but you have to basically like grapple and like throw people into the screen. I've got to figure that out because that's going to be how we beat a boss later on. Let's look at the controls. Jump attack, special is Y. Okay. Oh yeah, they added special attacks to this. I forgot about that. Hi, Craig. Yeah, this one is kind of what... This is the one that kind of started to feel like more beat-ups. There we go. Now I'm consistently throwing things on the screen. Don't know how I'm doing it, but... But yeah, there was a lot of speed and audio changes between the first and the... even the visual changes you can see.
Pizza time!
Terminate the turtle.
Ugh. I remember this. I remember this on the Super Nintendo again. I never played the arcade one. The arcade one actually looks really good for the time. There we go. Get him with that. Chop, 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 chop. Come on down. Now you're going to. Can't go down there, Vern. I can't. Okay, he's flashing, which means he's going to be... Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember the grabby gun. Yeah, I think we're doing a lot better with this one than we are the other one. Can you come down here, please? There we go.
Alley Cat Blues!
But yeah, it's again, it's an interesting time in history, and if you haven't seen kind of like what comes of that stuff, I would definitely recommend it. Plus, there's a lot of good games in the 80s and 90s that like a lot of people don't talk about. I know like once you get to like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 stuff, in the 90s and 2000s, a lot more people got into like home gaming and stuff. But I still think there's a lot of good, like, early 90s, early or late 80s kind of games, especially computer games for the 80s. There's some solid titles out there that I think a lot of people don't even know about. I still need to figure out how to consistently throw people into the screen. Okay. It'd also be nice if I could actually get out of this conglomerate of bad guys. There we go.
Pizza time.
Not a boxing bot. I always had trouble with that too, yeah. Well, it's like, there's like some positioning thing, because you can't grab people, right? They can grab you, but like it's not like a regular beat 'em up where you had to, like if you get close enough, you just grab them.
Pizza power.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's what that does. You have to like you have to do it in such a way
Cool off, sucker. Pizza time.
that it, I think you have to like stand still when you do it. It's like something about, there it is, yeah. There's something about distance and then like health.
I'm going to
Robo Turtle!
flying balls.
Oh no, he's got the double rocket punch. I guess they're technically stretchy arms. It's a robot Dalsim over here. There we go. But because there's some really early on computer games. Like a lot of people, when they start having discussions on like
My toes, my
Oh.
toes. My toes, my toes.
like survival horror is one of those that like I feel like there's a lot of people that, now given they all released within a year of each other, but like a lot of people they don't talk about like Alone in the Dark when they talk about like survival horror games, even though the people that know about it tend to be like, oh yeah, this is kind of like the grandfather of survival horror, even though it came out like 2 years before Resident Evil, which isn't a whole lot of time, but you know, and we're now I can't fault people for like not knowing about like Clock Tower 1 because that was a Japanese locked that was a Japanese locked title, so like that one I can kind of understand, but that did come out a year before Resident Evil, and that also needs to be in the survival horror discussion. But yeah, Alone in the Dark was an old computer game. In fact, I think it just got remade recently, which I think people enjoyed, but for some reason, I guess it didn't sell well enough, or maybe just the company was already kind of on a downward trajectory or something.
My toes, my toes.
But I think that company closed recently, the one who made the Alone in the Dark remake, which was kind of sad to see, because again, like bringing back those games. Now it was a full-on like overhaul remake. It's not like like a port or anything. But yeah, Alone in the Dark is an old computer survival horror game before survival horror was a thing, right? Like, and it's again, it's not usually in the discussion because people didn't play a lot of games. Like most of the people that play games played them on some sort of home console. Computers were very expensive. Like unless you had somebody who was already working with computers at home, computers were expensive. So it's understandable that like a lot of people didn't play that either. But I think we live in a day and age now where, one, you can play I think the entire Alone in the Dark series through GOG. So if you want to go play the old retro ones, plus again, there's the new remake. Yes, these are definitely not aliens from Alien. If you're wondering, copyright infringement and all that. But there we go.
My patience is wearing thin. I'm banishing you to a time warp from which you will never return.
Oh no, not the time warp. But yeah, I think that's just a
Prehistoric Turtlesaurus.
thing that I would like to see more people talk about. It's kind of like the older, like late '80s games when it comes to some of these conversations, because there's a lot of games that did do some of the stuff that the games that they that popularized it did later, you know. So but again, it's one of those that some people don't have access to play those types of games, so that's one of it. Like the more accessible a game is, the more chance people will have to find it or hear about it. That's why, like, even though indie developers kind of struggle with it, like, console releases can really grow your base, because there's some people that, like, they just can't afford, you know, a $1,500 to $2,500 PC, right? And that's completely understandable, especially in today's economy. So, like, making console games can be, or at least porting to your computer games, as long as the port is good to console, can be actually really helpful for. Okay, we need to. There we go. Take those out. I am very bad at this. Just gotta get them on one side. You don't ever want to get sandwiched in beat 'em ups. It's a good way to get wrecked. But again, there's a lot of good titles that a lot of people just don't know about. That's why I'm glad people are doing remakes and remasters and stuff like that, is because it allows people to play those games that they may have never even heard about, let alone played, that are worth playing. I really do think there's a lot of great older games that are worth playing. I'm still waiting for From Software to finally just give someone the reins to make even if it's just a port, just something for Kuon, because Kuon is like $1,000 right now for a copy, and that's just insane for a single game. Like, I don't think a single game should be over like $200. Like, there's like, I get its rarity of physical editions and stuff like that, but man, like having like a 300, 400, oh god, like dollar game is kind of crazy, and like even for collectors, I think that's a little rough. But there's just a lot of older games that I would really love to see remade. Oh, hello, Bloom. Give me just a second. I'm fighting the sand monster from prehistoric times. Because I cannot pause this. Actually, I can. I can pause this. Hello, everyone. Welcome in from Bloomstream. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Thank you for the raid. Let me get a shout out for Bloomaloo. Hopefully, everything went well. How are you liking the how are you liking Symphony of the Night? I was very curious because you said it wasn't your type of game, so I was curious how. Okay, so you are loving that. That's good. Metroidvanias are kind of a hit and miss. I have a friend who really doesn't like Metroidvanias. They don't like backtracking to get a thing so that they can backtrack to get another thing so they can because you have to get certain power-ups to get into certain areas. It's kind of like a formula of it. But they're not a big fan of that, so like I was wondering how you're doing. Also, hello, Blooms Pop and Void. Hopefully you're doing well today. We beat the first arcade game. We're now working on Turtles in Time, the arcade version. It's turned into my kind of game. There's a lot of really good Metroidvanias out there. Like if you're looking for some, like there's a lot. But welcome in, everybody. I'm MaskofGames, if you don't know already. We play a variety of games here. Currently, we're doing what I'm calling Turtle Tuesdays. where we're playing through a bunch of Ninja Turtle games. Right now we're working our way through the Cowabunga collection. We beat the first arcade game. Now we're doing the Turtles in Time arcade game. Do not expect high quality play here. It's been a very long time since I've played these games, so I will not be like absolutely destroying this or anything. Love to check out more down the road. Oh yeah, there's a lot of great ones. Like depending on how you feel about aesthetics and stuff. One of my favorites is Blasphemous. There's Blasphemous and Blasphemous 2. It's basically like, what if you took like Roman Catholicism and made it twisted? It's real messed up looking, but it's really cool. Really love Blasphemous. But love the gratification of unlocking new areas. Of course, there's always the Hollow Knight, which I will say Hollow Knight is a very hard, or can be a very hard Metroidvania. But as I was saying, I play all sorts of stuff here. Yesterday, we did what I'm calling Marvel Mondays, which actually I'll just show off. Something we're going to be playing for Turtle Tuesdays. I do have a copy of this, which is the Turtles 2 Battle Nexus. I don't know. I had this from childhood, so I figured we'll throw that in the list. Let me show. So Marvel Mondays, we are playing through Marvel Midnight Suns, which is a PC game. But after we get done with that, we have a trio of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. We'll be playing through the trilogy of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. This is basically a squad-based, like, Diablo-like series. I have not played the third one, so the third one will be the first playthrough, but I have played the other ones, but it's been a very long time. So that's what's happening on Marvel Mondays. Tomorrow, we're going to be checking out a kind of gory horror roguelike. I will hydrate, thank you very much. Zuex. We're going to check out a gory kind of horror roguelike. Thursdays, we are doing Alan Wake. So if you want to see... We do a lot of horror and we do a lot of retro. That's been the focus for the channel. So if that stuff sounds cool to you, don't forget to follow. But Thursdays, we're doing Alan Wake. We're currently working our way through Alan Wake Remastered. Then we're going to do American Nightmare. And then we're going to do Alan Wake 2. And all of those are first playthroughs. I've never played an Alan Wake game, so... And then Friday, we're going to give another swing at Medieval 2. I really wasn't having fun with it when I played it before because they just cranked up the difficulty and it just makes it like a lot less fun to play. But we're going to give it another shot. If that doesn't work out, also hello, Close to Spectacular. I don't know if I'm following you. I am not. I will follow you. Close to Spectacular. Okay. I know you stream too, right? Close. But anyways, so Friday we'll do Medieval 2. If I'm not vibing with it, we've got plenty of other retro games that we'll be checking out there as well. And then Sundays, this is the important one. If you love survival horror, Sundays we are currently working our way through Sekiro, which is not survival horror, because I didn't like my playthrough that I posted before. So we're doing a full playthrough of Sekiro, and as soon as we're done with Sekiro, we will be doing our first ever on-stream full Trying for All Good Endings Silent Hill series playthrough. So we're going to be going from 1 to Downpour, and the only 2 games we're not playing are Book of Memories and the arcade shooter. Book of Memories is like a dungeon crawler. Like, as far as I know, it's not really attached to the lore too much, and the arcade shooter is just an arcade shooter. So we won't be playing those 2, but all the other Silent Hills we'll be playing right after we beat Sekiro. So if you're interested in any of that, again, I do appreciate a follow. If you look at the top of your chat, I have pinned a channel update video on why we're doing the Silent Hill stuff. For people that have been around, they might notice that, like, we were working towards a follow goal. I've decided that we're just going to play all those games that were on the goals lists. We're just going to play those throughout the year, or throughout the years, however long it takes to get through some of those. So all of that stuff is in the update, as well as a medical update about what's been going on with me and why I went missing for like 4 or 5 days. So I do appreciate it. Again, thank you, Bloom, for the raid. But let's get back into this.
My nose.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, welcome in anybody. If you have any questions, or you basically, if you if you want to ask anything, feel free. I will answer questions. When it comes to beat 'em ups, if you want to backseat a little bit, be like, hey, by the way, there's a trick you can do, which is like a stun locking trick or something. Feel free to do that stuff. I don't think you can really spoil beat 'em ups. You know, you walk right and you beat people up. Like I don't think there's much to it outside of that.
Red King Shell.
But ow. Got bugged in the face. But yeah, if you want to know what series we've played, if you want to know anything about me, really, pretty open book when it comes to stuff. So
Pizza power.
feel free to ask away. Also, if there's a game that you think we should check out, I will definitely look into it. I tend to play physical versions of stuff, so it might be a little hard to play certain games, especially if they're expensive. Did I ever watch the Turtle stuff? I did. I watched the cartoon. I've seen. I think I've seen both of the live action movies. From I think is it the 80s or the 90s? Either one. I have seen the 2 live action movies, but like the later stuff, not so much. When it comes to animated stuff, my focus is more on like Batman, Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck, you know, those kinds of things. Speaking of Gargoyles, actually, something we will be playing at some point is actually the Gargoyles Remastered. This is the collector's edition. I will show that off at some point, but we will be playing the Gargoyles Remastered game. But yeah, those were more my jam. And the trouble you call DW. Exactly. Yep.
Shell.
Ah. But yeah, that's mostly what I watched animation wise. But I have watched a lot of movies. I do like movies. I have a friend who's not a big fan of movies. Who's my favorite turtle? Probably Donatello. I know that's a pick a lot of people, or one a lot of people pick, but I like, mainly I like it because of the bow staff. I know a lot of people were big fans of Leo because of the swords, but I like the bow staff. But yeah, probably Donatello. Wow, these guys are kicking our butts. We went from like absolutely trolling the bosses to getting trolled. I think it's just because there's 2 of them. Yeah, I think just because there's 2 of them, they're starting to. Yikes. Oh, I forgot they could run into each other. But yeah, Donatello would probably be the favorite turtle. Okay, this will be significantly easier now. So now we can just basically stun lock this guy if we can get in the right position. Not there. That's not a good position. There we go. Bruce Feldman did such a good job voicing him. It was fun. You were a Mikey guy. Yeah. I mean, they all were pretty interesting. When you have like a cast of characters, you really have to make sure that they have kind of like separate personalities. And I think the Turtles did a pretty good job of that. Now, don't get me wrong, they didn't have like really big personalities. You know, it's just like the goofball, the nerd, the leader, the angry one. You know, it's just so it wasn't like huge amount of depth, but it was, you know, it's cartoons, right? They didn't need all of that character development. They just, you know, they just had to tell kids not to do drugs and, you know, beat up bad guys, and that's basically all they needed to worry about. Wow, these guys are... You guys back off? Jesus. Getting wrecked here. There we go. But, yeah. I don't know why this got so hard all of a sudden. There's just, like, so many things on the screen. Jesus.
I feel seasick.
But, yeah. I have seen some Turtle stuff. And again, for people that may be just tuning in, we are doing a collection of Turtle games, so like after we beat this one, we'll be checking out probably the NES titles and stuff like that. And I will try my best to try to beat the games, but some of the early games are really difficult. So, I think it'd be a good example of the 4 temperament, which, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they're a good reference to, because a lot of people really enjoy when they can feel themselves being able to kind of see themselves or relate to a character on the screen. That tends to make the characters a little bit more I guess likable, because they'd be like, hey, I'm like Donatello, or hey, I'm like Leonardo, you know, especially when you're a kid, because you're trying to figure out your personality. So it's one of those that, like, it's always nice to see relatable, like, characters and stuff. But Jesus, they are not holding back anymore. I really need to figure out how to do that consistently. Alright, who do we fight here? Oh yeah, the crocodile. Oh, I almost got the complete stun lock there. I'm a little too close, yeah. I think he's gonna knife me. But, yeah, we were talking about how I really like that they've started remaking and, like, remastering and porting old games, because there's a lot of games that people just didn't really have access to or don't have access to. That's really nice to see them being able to play. Like one of the games that we will be doing a whole series playthrough of later this year is actually the Clock Tower series, because the first game in that series actually never came to Western audiences. It was a Japanese only game. But there's a company called Limited Run, which is the people that made the remaster Gargoyle thing that I showed earlier. They remade, or they're porting. They're calling it a Port Plus, so it's like a port but with extras of Clock Tower, and we'll be playing that later in the year when it releases. But I'm very excited for that, because again, we're going to be playing the whole series, even though like only 2 of the games are really connected. I think they all have a scissorman in them, which is kind of the connection, but like oh god, nothing. Not the flying guys. I remember there was like a weird trick you could do with Leo where you could like float in the air if you used your sword a certain way. Oh wait, does the... Yeah, there it is. I didn't realize your special didn't... Your special doesn't take your health. Usually in beat-em-ups... Usually in beat-em-ups, like, using your special takes your health, but it doesn't take your health in this game. That's interesting. I'd probably be using that more often if I had known that. Okay. It helps if it hits. Again, I am nowhere near a master of these games, so I do apologize if you're respecting top-tier gameplay. I'm better with certain beat 'em ups than I am with others, but I have not played this version of this game. I've played the Super Nintendo version years ago, but what about you guys? What's everybody's favorite Ninja Turtle if you like Ninja Turtles? You guys chill out, Jesus. Alright. Boss is Krang, right?
Pizza time.
Yeah, there he is.
Face the wrath of Super Krang.
Oh, Super Krang. Okay, my bad. Sorry, I forgot the super. Ugh. There's usually like a position you can like stand with a lot of bosses and be able to like stun lock them, but also a lot of these games, just having another player can completely change these fights, because basically you guys can like sandwich the boss. And then just be like bang, 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 back and forth, and just like ping pong the damage. You don't have to do that, but playing solo is quite a bit harder because you are the only focus of the enemy. But thankfully we have unlimited like lives because we can just push start to add more coins. It's interesting because it adds them 2 at a time, which I'm not sure why that is a thing, but you know, that's whatever. I think games like this are perfect for multiplayer. Yeah, of course, yeah. And they're drop in, drop out, which was great for arcades, right? Because like if someone ran out of coins, they just walked away from the machine, and then someone walked up and put their coins in, right? As long as someone was constantly alive, you could get through the games. But yeah, simple multiplayer games. Like you see that even now with a lot of the multiplayer games that are out now.
No turtle has gone before.
Where some of the simplest games are the ones that are becoming the most popular. Like you have Lethal Company. It's not a very, it's not a very complicated concept. It's basically just, get loot and bring back to ship and don't die. Like that's it. That's the entire gameplay loop of those games, and people love that. Also, recently there's the Chained Together game, which is it's just a platformer with your friend, and it's difficult, but like that's it. You just gotta make it to the platform, Now I haven't played Chained Together, so I might be underselling it, but I know a lot of people like it because again, it's simple.
Pizza power.
But yeah, I do agree. I think the simpler the game, the easier it is for multiplayer. Honestly, I think that's why Minecraft got so popular. Is because it's simple. It's just mining and crafting. Now, there's a lot of depth later on when you get like the enchanting and all that stuff, but still not as a gameplay mechanic very complicated. Rose and I have recently played Overcooked 2, which is really fun, but very simple. It can be difficult in some way. Yeah, that's the thing. Just because something's simple doesn't mean it can't be difficult, right? That's yeah. See, there it is again. Huh. Okay, can we break this thing? We can, okay. Oh, he's throwing a disc. That's what those are. So what is that thing flying around up there? Ow. Jesus. But yeah. Yeah, simple does not mean easy. Simple just means that it's easier to play, not easier to beat. Plus, if the game is too complicated, it'd be a tough level of skill knowledge that's capped between players. Also, not fun. You have to be patient with other players that don't have the skill. Yeah, I think that happens in a lot of competitive games. So, like your League of Legends, because of how complicated and how much there is to those games. Like, they have huge multiplayer because people like competitive games, but they are very complicated. But they also have very toxic communities because I think of what you're talking about, right? Like, it's just they expect somebody to be at like their skill level. And when they're not, they get really upset and, you know, make it unfun for someone else to play with them. Okay. I hate this floor, dude. Can we move off this floor, please? Oh God. Game with Roshi is over 10 times the hours I have in Splatoon, but we play together and it's tough to keep. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And that game's not really, well, they added some new modes, but that game, like, from a concept, is not really complicated. You know, paint more than your enemies. But because there's, like, a first-person shooter and a skill aspect into that, and then also, like, using certain weapons to get more or less paint on the map, and mobility, like there's a lot to kind of like skill cap your way through that. So yeah, it definitely would be one of those that, you know, the more you play, potentially the better you would become. Okay. Yeah. Could have known that was gonna happen, but
Pizza power!
pizza power. Boop, boop, boop. That was actually a really good use of that. Ow. Still need to figure out how to throw people into the screen. It's gonna be important. But I don't know. It also depends on who you're playing with, because like certain people, like if you have certain people who have the mindset of like, I don't care if we win or lose, I just want to have fun. Like that could make it a little bit easier for newer players, because it's just like, oh, we lost 16 in a row. It's like, okay, yeah, but are you having fun playing? Because that, you know, that's what matters. See, there we go. How do we? Come on, Krang.
I'm trapped! Anyone got a pin?
How am I supposed to hit I think I have to hit the top of him. There we go. No, not the bubble.
Anyone got a pin?
I don't even know how that bubble hit us. Okay, he's flashing, which is good. But yeah, it depends on the person, depends on the game, depends on the complexities. Because that's the thing with like fighting games too. I refuse to play fighting games with my friends. I had one former friend. We used to be friends for a while, but we had a bit of a falling out earlier this year. But I had a friend who he loved fighting games, and he would get so upset when he lost fighting games. And so I basically got to the point where it's like, I'm not going to play fighting games with him. And then I just realized, like, I just don't want to play fighting games with any of my friends, just because, like, there's like a visceral reaction to, like, losing. Because you feel like something is being, like, taken away from you in some degree, which is obviously not the case. And then you end up taking it out on, like, the person, and that's, again, not a good thing. God dang it, dude. He's so fast. Hey, Calzone. Thank you for the lurk. How's your streams going, by the way? Did you... I know Bloom asked you this, but I didn't see your answer. Did you beat the DLC of Elden Ring? Or are you taking a break from it, or... How's that going? Before you head off to your lurk. Calzone's another streamer. Let me go ahead and shout out. We shout out Zwex and Calzone here. Make sure to follow these peeps. Zwex does a lot of retro stuff. Yeah, working through Resident Evil Gaiden, did some Resident Evil, I think Code Veronica X. Also does like Phantasmagoria 2. And Cal was last playing, just chatting. Okay. I really need Krang to die here. Come on, Krang. You see this, right? Like,
I'm trapped. I'm trapped.
you come down here. Why is he going higher? But working on a Ripper speedrun. Oh, okay. Is that the old PC game? Or is that something else?
Anyone got a pin?
Oh. That's Christopher Walken. Okay, yeah. I think I've heard of it, but I don't know if I've actually ever seen it.
I'm trapped.
Is he done? There we go. Jesus.
Our way home. Let's go.
That was rough. I think it'd probably be easier with a different turtle, but... Now the Technodrome.
Technodrome, the final shell shock.
This is a really cool version of Shredder in it. I remember that, because you have, like, this one.
My favorite.
And then there's, like, spoilers, there's going to be another phase of this fight. But, I remember seeing this Shredder for the first time. I was like, dang, this looks awesome. Have you seen, Zwex, have you seen Harvester? Oh, I didn't know he could throw his hand like that. That's interesting. Have you seen or played Harvester? If not, you should check that one out. I think you would like that one. I think the speedrun for it's actually pretty easy. It's just there's a couple combat sequences that can be a bit annoying, but... And I think as long as you don't show like 2 or 3 scenes on Twitch, I think they'll let you stream it. Because there's a couple scenes that are like, I don't think you can show this, but I don't think either one of those are required for the speed run. Of course. Oh, he has the insta kill. I forgot he had the insta kill. Ah, so close. But you might want to check out Harvester. It's on GOG, but you could probably find another version of it if you're so inclined. But Harvester's a very interesting game. FMV kind of adventure. Horror. Definitely horror. Pop, 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 pop. Ow, Jesus. Stop stabbing me, man. Come on. I do need to balance. I appreciate you stopping by earlier and hope you have a good rest of your stream. Yep. I hope the house stuff goes well for you guys. I know you're working on house stuff, but thanks, Bloom. Yeah. I do appreciate the raid, and again, if you guys not checked out Bloomaloo, let me go ahead and do another shout out for good old Bloomaloo. Great guy, doing a lot of retro stuff. Currently working through Symphony of the Night. Talked about possibly doing Gex, which should be interesting. Maybe one of these days we can finally convince him to play Spyro, even though that's not his jam. But maybe we can even get some Timmy Turner streams going. Those that don't know, Timmy Turner, Timmy Turner's daddy, specifically in Bloomstream, is his wife. So would love to see some streams with her too. So just go over there. Also, Bloom has a Discord if you want to find. I am in that Discord, as well as a bunch of others. So if you want to find me there, or you know, any of that. Be happy to go through Spyro again. Will we get Timmy? Yeah, you gotta get Timmy on there. I think it'll be a fun time. Okay, then he falls off. I've actually never seen him fall off that edge.
Cowabunga!
The Teenage Mutant
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles,
Take it easy,
our
Bloom.
4 reptilian heroes, have overcome the Arc villain Shredder.
Oh, this doesn't have the second phase. Interesting, because I believe maybe it's in the Super Nintendo version. There's a version where Shredder falls off, and then you jump down to the base, and then you fight in like Times Square, and he's got like a super powered version.
Let's get shout!
Okay. All right, so that's 2 of the arcades down. I think it's this one. I think this is the one, but we're gonna. So we played the 2 arcade games. We're actually gonna go back in time. We're gonna try to play. God, this is gonna be awful. I don't think we need to play that one, but we'll play 1, 3, and maybe check out the Game Boy versions. Because 2 is just a port of the arcade. And then we'll go back, once we do 1 and 3, we'll go back to the Super Nintendo Turtles in Time, and then we'll do the Genesis Hyperstone Heist, and that'll be it. Like I said, there's a few games in here. I don't know if we're gonna beat this one in particular. We do have saves, like we can do a save state. They also have a strategy guide, which is interesting. So, but I'm trying to give it the old college try, as it were. But I don't think I ever played this game, so you'll have to bear with me as I figure out what's going on and where. I remember people really having a problem with this game because of how difficult it was. Also, knowing where you're going. So, like I said, we'll give this the old college try, but don't expect a whole lot. Okay. Because you have to, basically what happens is you have to, like, go into sewers to get to further. Oh, wow. Just died. Boop. Done and done. We'll save Donatello. Let's go with Raphael. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He's one of the worst in this game because his thing has such a short range. God. Yeah, get absolutely wrecked. And I believe if you pick someone else, yeah, you have to do the whole thing over again. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if we're gonna beat these. By the way, that flickering is completely normal that you see there. It's because of the way that it registers sprites. How do you throw those? How do you throw your select? Okay. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Just gotta go over here to aggro. Okay. Ah! There we go. And then we have to jump up here. There we go. Made some progress. Probably switch back to our nunchucks. There's a full pizza up there. Let's see if we can make it. Oh, I remember seeing this this room. Okay. Get a bite of pizza. And a full pizza that gives you 0 things. So basically, it's meant to be a trick. And the enemies do respawn, by the way. Again, if you've not seen this game is an absolute trip. But yeah, there's a lot of, like, non-levels. Like, there's sewers you can go in that don't lead anywhere. You got the steamroller. We are doing pretty terribly. Oh, those guys are insta-kills. Nice! I didn't realize those guys were insta-kills. Okay. But basically, it's meant to be a maze. The way that they made this game have longevity is by essentially making it to where there's a bunch of just, like, reused dungeon kind of things that don't actually get you anything. Like, they'll have, like, health or something in them, like, but they won't have, like, exits. So this one has an exit, which means it's probably where we needed to go. We can go here, grab this pizza, and this will spit us out here, which is not where we wanted to be. So that's what I'm talking about. You see how that one led us back? So it's like a maze. That's effectively how they added longevity to this game. Is it's just one giant maze. Eventually, you do get the turtle van and all of that, but and yes, you do have to refight bosses if you do that. So very curious. If we take this one, does this lead? I don't think it does. No, that one... Oh, it started us back up there. Okay, so that's what it was. Can you die? Hold on. I didn't think pizzas respawned. Test something. If I go out and then go back in, the pizza does respawn. Interesting. But maybe that's something they added for this edition. I don't remember pizza respawning. Yeah, when you continue, it starts you back from the beginning. I forgot about that. Is there another path? Hold on. There's like a little side path here. Okay, no. I just can't go through the water. But yeah, you have to go through this. You have to beat that boss. It's a whole thing. I thought there was like a trick with this boss. Also, a lot of these older games had high scores, Even though, you know, no one really kept track of that stuff. Wow. We might not be able to get much progress in this game, I'm not gonna lie. We're already on our last turtle, and we're still struggling to fight the, Oh yeah, I forgot that. Although he's got the range, it's just not the where you want the range to be. Like I said, the flickering is normal, it's a symptom of sprites on the screen. Okay. Okay. Again, I don't know any of the strats, so... Oh, Lord. Okay, so we don't need to go in that building. I think we need to go... here. If not, we can at least use it to farm some health up. Go back out. Go back in. Jump. Grab the pizza. We're just gonna farm a little bit of health here. There we go. Anything here? We got a frog boss. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so this was the right way out. Okay, and then I think we have to go into this building. Well, it certainly looks different, so guessing we're making our way. Again, I have no idea, but... Oh, that's not good. Well, if we lose Donatello, we lose, so this is gonna be fun. And there it goes. Game over. And again, the continue just puts you back at the end of the game. Trying to remember. Let's see. Yeah, see, here's the map. You go into that one. It just kind of... And then once you get over there, that's the swimming section, which is also very difficult. Area 3. Trying to remember. 4B. 5. 6. There's a whole bunch of areas. I really don't think we're going to be able to make it. We can't even get out of the first area. So yeah, I think we're good on one. I just wanted to show that off. Okay, we don't need to play that one. Let's play this one. We haven't played this one. Okay. One turtle. Donatello. Let's make some mistakes. The turtles are enjoying their vacation on a beach in Florida. When suddenly, April's report is just about to start. Here in New York, crime is escalating every day. Sounds like New York. Gee, what happened? Probably... Yep, our good friend. Bummer, dudes. It's Shredder. Remember when everybody said bummer? Well, New York City specifically is in the sky, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense given that the boroughs are separated by water, but anyways. I'm taking April along with Manhattan. If you want them back, come and get them. Okay. Start the long, hard battle. So they could still kind of do the moves from the, like, arcade and stuff? That's hilarious. Okay. Oh, they're throwing sand in our eyes. I'm like, why are they... God, this is so... This is so awkward. Beat 'em ups. Never change. I think they bounce a little bit when you hit them. It's like boop, boop. Man, the bosses in this are going to be an absolute dumpster fire. Oh, Lord. Can't. There's too many sprites on the screen. Stop throwing stuff. By the way, again, the reason why there's flickering is because the cards at the time can only register so much graphics. So if there's too many sprites on the screen, it starts trying to, like, figure a way to load them in such a way that they can stay on screen. Are we fighting sandworms? Oh. So that's what kind of causes the flicker. What's funny is if they don't program them right, which happened a little bit with the NES games, is the NES could only handle so many, like, moving objects. So, like, projectiles and stuff would eventually, they would play like an animation to throw, but they wouldn't actually throw anything because the sprite was still on the screen or whatever. Oh, but oh wow, you guys can fly across the screen. Key West. Beach. This is a pier, though. Why do you need 3 beaches? Wow. Jeez, if you fail that kick, you just get rocked. Let's see, can we get a 4th beach? Nope. Nope, they destroyed the beach signs. How long would you have to be standing there for that? Because, like, they could hear us fighting. Wouldn't it be more opportune for them to, like, jump us when we're fighting something, not wait for us to stop fighting and then jump us? Ooh, we get to go diagonal. Select. Let's try, Leonardo out here. It kicks the same. Pier's falling apart. Not the sandwich. By the way, again, if you weren't here earlier, one of the things I mentioned, when you're playing beat 'em ups, the last place you want to be is between 2 enemies, because they can just stun lock you like that in a lot of beat 'em ups. All right, who's the first boss? The crocodile? No, it's a gray. I still don't remember which one's which. I think this is Rocksteady. I think Rocksteady's the rhino, but I don't know. I don't know which one's Bebop and which one's Rocksteady. Might be thinking it's Rocksteady just because it starts with an R and so does Rhino. This man's got a spear gun. You chill out with that. Okay. Let's try Mikey. Just spot him. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing pretty well. I gotta keep an eye on the time for those of you who weren't here earlier. I do have an appointment, so this is gonna be a little bit of a shorter stream. Scene 1 clear. Push button. But I have an appointment I need to get to, so we're not gonna get a deep, long stream in here, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of surprised they were able to pull off a surfing scene. There. Die. Why? Why would you do that? Doesn't even make any sense. Synchronized jump. Ow. Now you're just showing off at that point. It's like, because we're in theory we're moving, you know, not like light speed or anything, but we're moving pretty fast. And these people are jumping out of the water not only as fast as we're moving, but also moving against us and jumping through the air. Like, imagine like how the physics of that. How would that even work? Like, the people that jump forward, it makes sense, but like the people that jump backwards, they'd have to like swim really fast forward and then jump immediately backwards. And to be that synchronized, some next level stuff right there. Wow, why did I turn around? Can you come back here? Thank you. Did we actually fight a boss here? Look at these guys. They're little... Looks like they're on, like, little egg chairs with guns attached. Oh, Lord. They're so hard to hit because you have to be on the same plane as them. But if you get on the same plane as them, they, you know, shoot you. Okay, let's try Raphael. Okay, so it looks like they all have roughly the same, like, range and kicks and stuff. Although Raphael seems a little bit shorter range than everybody else. There we go. Is that area 2 clear? Is that the boss? Now we're going to a battleship? Submarine? What is this? Okay. Okay. Oh. Caught a fireball in the face. Jesus Christ. Why? Why are there so many guns on this ship? Also, if you think about it, these guns only serve the purpose of... I literally keep getting hit by the same fireball over and over again. These guns literally serve no purpose other than to guard the top of this ship. But, like, couldn't someone just shoot, like, a torpedo at it and then, like, this ship would be gone? Like... Wait, what? You can fall down the side? I didn't know you could do that. Oh, Lord. Like, this is just an unnecessary amount of, defensive weaponry, in my opinion. It's like, you're never boarding our ship. But what if we just shoot at it? You're never boarding our ship. At least we're past the defensive parts. I say that and they're immediately gonna add like 7 million of these. Alright, that looks like a boss door. Wow. Yeah, if you jump and get hit by literally anything, you just go flying back. It's kind of funny. Not gonna lie. There's a pink door and yeah. What the heck? What are you? A weird. So is our point to dodge you? Okay. And then, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, still has a, like an active hitbox, so I'm doing the jump kick. Oh, it just, you fall off if you hold on to the side too long. Ow. Oh. Game over. High score, almost 100,000. Not bad. I guess. Continue? Does it continue us at the level, or does it continue us at the boss? I'm guessing it'd be the level. Yeah. Oh, it's actually the second half of the level. You don't have to do the first half. Alright. Let's see. What else do we got? Don't need to do that one. Okay. Alright, so all we got left is... Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. So this was the arcade, right? It never had... If you watch this, there's a sequence in this one that the arcade didn't have. It has there's a sequence where you have to throw enemies at the screen. But for some reason, the original Turtles in Time didn't. So we'll definitely have to play that one. How long have we been going? We're going a couple hours. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch it up for now. We're gonna basically save the other like 2 or 3 games for next Tuesday, and then we'll follow that up with Shredder's Revenge. I don't want to like burn through all of them in one stream, so we're gonna stop that for now.